is that in order to live the life that you want to live, the work needs to be done in the gym to be able to live essentially an injury-free or the least amount of injury for your everyday life. And where you really do that is starting with your warm-ups. You need to be warming up so that you stay injury-free in the gym and then therefore stay injury-free in life.
Hey everybody, we've had some of the most incredible guests coming to you these past couple of months. The amount of expertise and knowledge on these cutting edge topics is something we really hope that you enjoy. And if you do, it would make a huge difference to us if you could rate, review, and subscribe the podcast. It helps us to get more guests, better experts, and talk about all of the things that are really important to you. So give us a love, give us a lot of love, and don't forget to subscribe so you get all our new episodes. Hi guys, welcome back to the Thick Thighs Save Lives podcast. I'm Rachel and I've got an overcaffeinated and underperforming.
I'm overperforming and overcaffeinated. So I also am, and this is Kelsey. By the way, I also had my son sleep a really long stretch last night, and like I'm like a new woman when that happens. Like I don't know who I was before.
Barely functioning.
I went into like a different state. Like he had, and let me tell you guys, he had a 7.5 hour stretch last night. Not that I was sleeping during that whole time, but listen, he slept for 7.5 hours straight on one stretch.
We know what you mean. You don't have to keep saying the same thing 5 different ways.
Just in case
we know what it means to sleep 7 hours in a row.
So I'm feeling it. I'm feeling great about that. Like, so that means he's going to bed at 7, like a little after 7. So that's when that 7-hour stretch starts. So it's not like you don't just like go upstairs and go to bed at 7:30.
Well, I mean,
you could.
You could. No one would judge you.
But I heard him at 3 a.m. and I was like, we are winning. And then he got up at 5, which is not like that bad, but time change.
We rolled the clocks back and it's Group Friday week and we've got a 7-hour full stretch. So let's go. It's gonna be it's gonna be a great week. Hey, you know what? I was gonna tell you, I did this fun thing.
Do you want to talk about your eyebrows or no?
Right?
Oh, now you can't do it. Have you seen the videos where the people start like this and they're like, I officially shaved my eyebrows and decided, I shaved my eyebrows and decided to just like pencil them in every day. And I'm like, what trend is this? I feel like we should not do that. And then they do the thing and it's like, hey, no eyebrows. And then everyone listening who's done this is like, don't make fun of me. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just like, it's a weird thing because then you see the no eyebrows and then they draw them in like really dark. Have you seen this? It's on TikTok.
I haven't, but anytime someone starts the video with like, I did this thing and then they cover up the thing that they did.
Yeah.
That's a surefire way to get me invested. Cause I need a before and after. I'm that kind of person. Well, you know what algo I found myself in, which is like, I can't even believe I'm going to say this, but
what is it? Pimple popping? Is it pimple popping?
Well, it's blackheads.
Yes.
And I cannot tell you how satisfying it is.
I'm so satisfied.
Like a full nose of blackheads, and then it's like, then they're all gone. Oh my God. Nothing better.
Okay. I want to know if there's more people like this. I don't know like what psychological thing we're feeling here, but the blackheads, the earwax, I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Okay, but those came with, so once it started being like, you like blackheads, then it started being like, do you like, you know how it'll send feelers out there with like
How do you feel about
videos, like,
earwax?
how do you feel about earwax? I love it.
Love it.
Like, but here's the only thing. You always feel like when you see these things, oh, well, this is going to be great. I'm going to go check out my nose, and I'm going to go check out my ears, and I'm going to do my own version. But here's the thing. I don't know where they're finding these people, because
years into getting those blackheads.
I mean, a lifetime, it seems, because I'm like searching, and not that I have like the world's greatest skin or something, but like how I'm envisioning it should look.
Yeah.
Based on these videos. And then I go see mine, and I'm like, well, this.
Listen, have you ever
that's
purchased
not gonna be
products
satisfying.
based on this?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been had. And with the blackheads, I once got this suction cup thing where I watched these videos, and they had this suction.
I know this
and
thing.
They went around and they pull these long, like these. Oh, I'm like, this is the most satisfying thing ever. So I get the suction cup, and I'm like, I can't wait to look at what's inside.
Oh, it's gonna be so great. It's gonna be full of.
It's gonna be like they're gonna be
so
pulling
dirty.
like long, yeah. And I was
and
like,
you're gonna be like, oh, this is out of my skin now.
Yeah,
but
that's
was
what
it
I
clear?
mean. You feel like
the water was clear.
You're gonna get like empty after. I mean, I got some, but it was definitely not. It was not what I wanted. I did the same thing for earwax. There was like this camera thing with this scooper.
I saw it,
and people were bringing out these long. Anyone who was grossed out by this is like, people were bringing out these long. Like, it was like, I'm gonna say something even grosser. So like, warning, like cockroach level like things out of their ears, right? So they bring it. I'm like, I'm gonna get that out of my ear, because my picture, not that I want that in my ear, but I'm picturing how satisfying, and like I'm gonna be able to hear like no one's ever heard before.
Like, I'm gonna hear colors. It's gonna be I'm gonna be brand new.
Yeah, and you're scooping these out, and I'm like, I'm picturing like a coming out. So I get this thing, and I connect it to my phone with the camera, and I'm looking around for these like large chunks of earwax. No. And I'm like, well, where's my chunks of earwax? Like, I want to like pull these out, and I couldn't. I was really disappointed. I was how much earwax are you like? I'm thinking, listen, we grew up with this, like, you put the cotton things, whatever they're called, ear cleaners, and I'm picturing like we've been stuffing earwax in here for decades, right? So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna get it.
Well, that's what that thing said, the little camera thing. It said, it showed you like a graphic on the site, and it was like, you've been stuffing earwax in with Q-tips for your whole life, and you're gonna find it all with this camera.
And you're gonna be like,
I didn't have anything.
My head's gonna be lighter. I'm gonna have no more.
I didn't have
I'm gonna have no more headaches like this.
I know. And and when you do the pore strips, that's where I started. I started in this algo of like the blackheads, and it being like, okay, we're gonna rip this thing, and I was like, oh yeah, look at all those trees. It's like a forest on the whole pore strip. Yes, I'm gonna get that. I didn't have hardly anything. I was like looking at it under a microscope, and I was like, what?
I got my like two lights over with my magnum. I'm like, where is it?
Oh, man. Yeah. So I guess you have to probably either be a man or spend a whole lifetime.
Like they're doing it really close up. It's probably a lot of men who have like never.
I think it's men.
Done a
because you can't see.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you can't see who the person is. You can only see their pores. And I'm guessing these are like 60-year-old men who have never
been working
had a skincare routine. Yeah, not on their face.
And packing in the dirt.
Yeah. Just get So, I agree with you. I've been had on that too, thinking that I'm gonna have these like moments of deep satisfaction on my own face, but no. We'll just have to keep keeping those algos and
satisfying though. just to watch. I'm like, why am I calmed by this?
Sometimes if I need to calm down, I go right to the blackheads. It's just
I know.
I know where to go. Is that weird? That sounds weird when I say it.
You know what?
But
I don't think it's as weird as people who are, and I'm going to call you guys out because I know a large number of our following or the people who are listening here do this. Is it weirder than all of you listening to your murder docs to calm down? I said it. Like when
true crime people.
I know.
How are you relaxing?
Like
with the wood chipper story. Like how is that relaxing? I don't vibe with that.
For you.
Well, I guess we all have our own.
Just calm down and listen to a good murder. You're not okay. I'm not okay with my blackheads either.
No, none of us are okay. We're all out here being very, very sick and disturbed in our own ways. But listen, if you want to let me know why and how that relaxes you and doesn't give you bad dreams, because I'll tell you what, the blackhead dreams are, I mean, this I so say great release. There's nothing
I'm
else.
feeling loosey goosey after that. It's like
but
getting a
before
massage.
And after. Yeah. Oh man.
I do want to say to the people who are married or their partner is one of those like true crime, gotta watch a murder doc person. Like, how are you? We have a system. There's time frames that you can watch these things, and I'm not in the room because I get anxiety. I got bad dreams.
Yeah, bad dreams.
I don't want to know about these things.
No.
So you watch that on your own time.
But one thing, for the blackhead people then you start, if you can't find it on yourself, then you start
oh god
looking at your husband.
I got this new tool. You think I could?
Can you come a little closer? I just want to see one thing.
I used to date someone who had like shoulder acne when he would sweat a lot, and I was like, let me get those.
So he was like, how do you no? And they don't like when
I'm like, I'm helping.
Well, at least my my husband does not like.
You know, like when you come try over to help with your Pinterest.
No, he does not like not one bit. Well, so I had this one thing that I wanted to tell you. I saw a fun thing where I was like, 7 fun questions to ask your partner. And
you wanted to
I was thinking maybe we do one a week. No, because you're my partner in many ways.
I know.
And I did do it with my husband, and we did one a day, and it was kind of fun. And we're still like laughing about our answers. So I was wondering if you wanted to just like do one today.
Sure do.
As my partner.
I don't see why any of these things, when it's your partner, is exclusive to someone that you maybe mate with.
I mean,
I got many partners.
Can mean a lot of things, and
sure.
I have, I have more than one, and it's I feel that this is scandalous. There's a lot of revealing going on today's podcast. That's what happens when Kobe sleeps 7 hours in a row. It's like a dump of like, hey, did you guys know I watch earwax videos? Well. Question number 1. If I disappeared for 24 hours, where would be the first place you'd look for me?
If you disappeared for 24 hours.
I have yours.
You know what? Okay, I had 2 that popped up, and this is a tough one, but I was going for the beach, and then I was going for a salon.
That's what Mark said. He said you're at the hairdresser or the nails.
Yeah.
He said you go there for hours, days sometimes it feels. And you don't answer. Yeah. Well, good answer. Both good answers. Yours is the gym. Okay.
Yeah.
We all know. Yours is the gym. I would go right
get
to
lost
the gym.
there. You know,
Yeah.
some of us are doing our therapy through a physical movement. Vestibular stimulation is what you call it when you have a baby who also needs that.
Actually, no, that's everybody. Everybody. Rory does vestibular.
He does?
Yeah.
So I found out I
primitive.
have a FOMO baby who needs more vestibular stimulation in order to sleep. And guys, this is working. You don't just do what all the other babies
in the
need.
pudding.
Yeah.
The proof's at 7 hours.
Well, the thing is, I was like, if for people who will understand this, like you try to do this, like, well, I'll just try to calm them down because they need to be more calm, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. That is not the type of person that you have on your hands. You are constantly trying to calm them down throughout the day and then get them to sleep at night. It's like they didn't get all of their movement out, basically. They didn't get all of their stimulation. They need more vestibular stimulation, that the rough play, touching, physical, like all of that. And then they build up their sleep pressure and sleep longer.
Here's the thing. It's really nice that you can relate to this because
I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah. Immediately you were like, that makes sense. But like, not everybody has like this, like very similar characteristics to their babies. Like sometimes you get an opposite baby.
Yeah.
And then you're like, it's so hard to understand. But then once you get it, you get it. So I'm very glad to hear that you're normalizing that. And hey, everybody, if your therapy is true crime, if your therapy is blackheads, or if your therapy is movement, it's all right. Except the true crime. That's not right. Something's wrong with you. Okay.
Right. That ain't right.
Yes, that ain't right.
That's like 90% of people. True crime has like the highest listen rate, and like the majority is women. It's like, it's a whole thing. That's why they have so many of them. That's why we do so many like documentaries and stuff on this. It's like very successful. But like, you guys are fucked up.
What's going on, guys? Yes, okay. Just blink twice if you need some help getting away from those true crimes. Okay, so your warm-up sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm calling you out because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of your warm-up sucking because I don't want to see you injured. I don't want to see your first set be a load of garbage that was a waste of time. I don't want to see you being more sore than you need to be. I want to make sure that your warm-up stops sucking tomorrow. And if your warm-up doesn't exist, girl, we're going to talk about it today.
Man, I feel like this is particularly prevalent for me right now because I've been missing some warm-ups, and I totally just get why people like shorten their warm-up, or we're just pressed for time and we're like, oh, I don't know. There's just a lot of people maybe feel like this at the gym now. Like they're pressed for time. They got to get in as much as possible. I don't want to waste my time on the warm up. But I really have to tell you that your warm up is never a waste of time. It is an investment to your future in the gym, and it is an investment into the rest of your workout.
So important. Play that back, play it thousands of times. The warm up is not a waste of time. I know this is hard, guys, especially when you are so limited on the amount of time that you have. And you're just saying to yourself, like, okay, but we have to prioritize. I have to prioritize. Listen, I will go so far as to say, if you will spend a little bit more time in the warm-up, I'll let you skip the cool down. But I don't, here's the other misconception. I don't think that people realize that a good warm-up doesn't have to be a super big time investment. It just has to be the right things.
Efficient.
In the
We're looking for efficiency.
Okay, so here's how we're going to convince you that this is worth your time and that it can be done in an efficient amount of time if it's done correctly. Then you don't have to waste a whole bunch of time in a warm up. And you also can continue to have great first sets, longevity in the gym, and less DOMs afterward. So, first of all, I want to talk about the typical warm up. So, like all right, I'm going to walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes and I'm going to stretch out my hammies.
The old man stretch.
Good to go.
It's weird. The hammies are always what like people prioritize, and then they do like a nice little like wide leg lean. It's like if you want to get that in as you're walking into the gym, just we're all about efficiency here. If you want to really get that in as you're walking in, just feel free to throw them up there. Give it the old wiggle around the middle. Really loosen up those hips.
A little hula action.
A little hula action. Do it during the day. Stand up. Like, I'm here for it. But let's talk about efficiency in your warm up.
Because that isn't how we're warming up to move purposefully. We are not walking for 10 minutes on the treadmill, doing a hamstring stretch and a little side to side there, and then going, good to go. Yep, ready, all set. A warm up is so much more than that. And it's so important that people understand that it's not just feeling warm, right? Like when you walk on the treadmill, you get a little sweat going, maybe like you walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes and you're like, okay, I feel warm. So that means I'm ready to go. No, it doesn't, because we need to prime so many more systems than just the feeling of muscle warmth. So I want to talk about what's kind of going on under the hood when we think about warm-ups, when we're prepping our body to exercise, like what is actually happening, because there is a cascade of changes happening inside, yes, your muscles, but also your connective tissues and your nervous system. And those are the two areas that I think most people are not priming when they're just doing that little treadmill and little side stretch. And like, you haven't addressed your nervous system whatsoever, and you've not addressed any connective tissue. So, yes, the part where you make your muscle and your tissue temperature increase is important. Yes, absolutely it is. So you want to generate that heat. And if you want to do it by walking on the treadmill, if you want to do it 5 minutes on the bike, if you want to do it on the rower, if you want to do it with a jump rope, that's all good. It all works. You do want to raise the temperature of your muscles, and you do want that to be first. So I just want to lead off with that. That's a good thing.
Absolutely. And I think that's why there's been such a hard call for like removing so much static stretching, because it's really not conducive to exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about heating up your muscles, heating up your tissue, getting those connective tissues to really start to like fire and turn on so that you can move appropriately. And really static stretching is not where that's going to happen. One of the things I definitely wanted to call out is that your warm up is essential to injury prevention, and so many people stay out of the gym or have difficulty coming back to the gym, or then have long stretches where they're not in the gym anymore because they have hit an injury, fear of an injury, and it impacting their everyday life, when like you have to do other things. Like you have to be able to like live your life without feeling like you injured yourself in the gym. But the real part of that is that in order to live the life that you want to live, the work needs to be done in the gym to be able to live essentially an injury free, or the least amount of injury for your everyday life. And where you really do that is starting with your warm ups. You need to be warming up so that you stay injury free in the gym, and then therefore stay injury free in life.
And injury doesn't just mean, you've sustained like a broken bone or a torn ligament or something extreme like that. Injury can be extreme soreness to
Yeah.
the point where you are not able to return to the gym for the next week.
Or
That
you have like such bad like extreme soreness, and I know this has happened with me like postpartum, is that like you're feeling so sore that like then the typical tasks that you need to be able to do on a daily basis are seriously hindered. And like this can differ for a lot of people with the season that I'm in. I'm like, I can't pick up my son from inside the crib. It's a deep, it's a deep pickup in there
because he had to
because
go down
yeah.
because Mr. Man's standing up in there
He's
now.
standing up.
So
He's a little rascal. But like those are
rascal.
things that you're doing on a daily basis. And I know so many people who are like in this season, you're saying like, well, I have to pick up the car seat and get it over into the car. If I injure, or if I'm like not even necessarily injured, we're talking about like extreme soreness. If I'm so sore that that is a really difficult task for me, that starts to get in your mind of like, well, is it even worth it right now to get into the gym? Because for the next 2 days, I'm struggling to pick up the car seat. I'm struggling to pick him up out of his crib. Like, your everyday tasks, whatever they are for you in the season that you're in, are difficult for you. I know I've heard from a lot of nurses who are like, I have trouble with this because I need to go to work and move people from bed to bed or help assist them out of a wheelchair. Like those are the tasks that they need to be able to complete on a daily basis. And if they're too sore to be able to complete those, what are we doing in the gym?
It's so true. The gym is meant to enhance your life. And yes, to make progress is a certain amount of soreness necessary, is the process of tearing muscle, rebuilding muscle. Does it create lactic acid? Yes, these things are true, but there is definitely a difference between, and I think everybody sort of knows that everybody who has had any kind of fitness in their life ever knows the difference between like the sore that lets you know you're alive
Mm-hmm.
and the sore that is debilitate, like when you're walking down the stairs. Like there's a difference. And I know that there are so many people in their lives as they age that get into seasons where they just say, like, I don't want to be that sore anymore. That's not appropriate for me anymore. I don't want to struggle to sit on the toilet. I don't want to struggle to walk down the stairs. That's not in my journey. And I am here for that 100%. It is not necessary to be that sore to make appropriate gains strength wise. But I will say, one of the most important things that you can do for yourself, especially if you're starting again after a long hiatus, is to focus on the warm up. And so, what happens, I just want to give people kind of sort of a visual of what happens, and an idea of what happens when you are going to physically warm up your muscles. So why we want to start with something a little bit more. So what we want to do in the beginning is we want to start with something that's going to get your heart rate up. The reason why we're doing that is because as your heart rate rises, your blood vessels are going to dilate, and that's giving all of your muscles more blood, which in turn is going to create better strength, faster reactions, and less risk of strains. So the more muscles are receiving blood, the better they perform. I mean, everybody knows this, but as your body warms, that hemoglobin also releases oxygen. And so the more oxygen your muscles are getting, the more endurance they're going to have. And so there's a whole bunch of studies to back up the fact that when you switch your muscles from that cold and inefficient state to the ready to perform state, all of the things that you do after that are going to be at a higher rate of efficiency. They're just going to be better. You're not going to have that shitty first set. You're not going to have the first 5 minutes of the workout, in a Metcon situation be like, oh my God, I'm Tin Man. These are all ways in which we are going to prime your body in an actual, like, raise your body temperature in the muscles to make it so that it's ready to go. But the other thing that's really important is making sure that your nervous system is activated. And this is the one where I think most people are skipping.
We briefly interrupt this podcast to tell you about some awesome things. We have a surprise drop today, and you're not going to want to miss it.
Oh man, the holidays are here. And if you just love to be decked out in holiday wear, we have the surprise drop for you today. Can we say it? Are we?
Well, we're going to say it. Slay all day.
Slay all day is so cute.
So cute. Honestly, I'm living for some of the holiday drops because I'm just like I'm full in on the holidays. Like, let's just wear them as long as possible, and I love a good theme.
Oh, a good theme. We have Slay All Day and Rex the Halls for our dino lovers. These are one of a kind, super cute, and when they're gone, they're gone. So if you are a holiday girly, get in for the surprise drop today. They're too freaking adorable. If you love a theme.
Yeah, I wanted to hit just one more thing on the oxygen delivery because that all, like, initially when you hear that, you're like, yes, I would love to improve my oxygen delivery. That is obviously going to improve my workout. That's obviously going to make me less sore in the long run, and it's going to increase the overall time that I spend in the gym. Like, everyone can get on board with that. But I think something that, like, dependent on the type of workout that you're doing, this is very important for, like, the duration of the workout that you're doing. And this just came to my attention recently because when you kind of talk to people who do, like, different facets of fitness, and, like, maybe there's just this, like, elongated, like, time on the treadmill, and it's like a 45-50 minute time on elliptical, things like that, you don't realize, like, how important the warm up is because so much of that is, like, taken into the actual workout. And my partner Matt was like, he's like, oh, I did like a 6-7 minute workout. He's like, how do you work out for like 6 minutes? And it's like really hard. Like, how is that even possible? He's like, that's less than 10 minutes. Like, he's like, I'm watching it, but I don't even, like, understand really what's going on here. And I think a lot of people are in that boat. The reason why we have sometimes a longer workout and a longer warm up and a shorter workout is we need that output during a short period of time. That's very important for your overall fitness. These durations of workouts should vary on a daily basis significantly. Some workouts are a very short time, but the output during that time is a high output. You are working very hard. It's like a sprint, right? You're working really hard, but during those workouts, you have time and you should have a longer warm up because by the time that you actually are starting, like, hey, I'm starting my workout and it's going to be an intense one, it's going to be short. But I've had the chance, like, my body has had the chance to significantly warm up so that I am able to start that at a high intensity, right?
So true. The shorter the workout, the longer the warm up. I've always said that to athletes, and I think that it's a simplistic way to tell a very complex idea, but I couldn't agree more. And I do, like, that's a really really good segue to the fact that we are customizing our warm ups for what we are performing on that day.
Yeah.
And if your warm up looks exactly the same every day, despite what you are doing, we're back to the 10 minutes on the treadmill and a couple of hammy stretches for an upper body day.
Yeah. So some of that is just, like, so important so your body is complex, right? And there are so many, not just, like, stabilizing muscles, large muscle groups, small muscle groups that we need to make sure are firing in order for us to be performing a movement well. And so something like, if we're just kind of, and I'm going to use this in the opposite way because I think a lot of people tend to, like, warm up just their legs and not warm up their upper body. which is an interesting thing. So if you have a ton of like, you're going overhead, you're doing bench press, you're doing push press, you're doing any type of pull-ups, pushing, whatever, push-ups, any of that thing, and we're just warming up our lower body, we're not actually priming the muscles that we need to fire, so that basically you're starting, when you start to move overhead or when you start to do some of your upper body exercises, essentially like you're still in the warm-up phase because you've not addressed the muscles that need to be working properly, efficiently for the type of workout that you're doing. So when we're designing our warm up, we really need to think about the movements that we're doing that day. What are the large muscle groups? What are the smaller muscle groups? Core is always involved. And what are some of the stabilizers, which is often missed during a warm up, during most people's warm up, that we really need to make sure are kind of a prime focus for injury prevention. And something I want to say, like, for that is what those look like. Stabilizers is like anything really with a band like this. You see people doing banded pull aparts, maybe with their palms down or with their palms up, depending on like the type of movement that you're doing. All of those are smaller muscle groups, but are so important. They are so important to any type of pushing or pulling that you're going to be doing for that day. That doesn't mean we just kind of like do our arm circles. This is what we do. We just like we throw our like limbs in any type of way, and we're like, well, I'm warming these up because physically they're getting warm up, but we need to look at firing specific muscle groups. I did want to hit back really quick too on your nervous system warm up because I don't want this to be missed.
That's why I'm and I think that you did a great job in segueing that, because that is not happening when we're throwing our limbs around and making them feel warm. Okay, that's great, but there are so many neurological connections that need to be hit between your brain and the muscle groups that need to work, that not warming up that your CNS is a huge, you're hitting a huge discrepancy in your warm up by just saying, my body feels warm, I have a little bit of a sweat dribbling, and so I'm ready to go. We're completely missing the brain as if it wasn't going to be involved in the workout. And listen, I know some of us are there to shut off of our brain, but we're shutting off the part of the brain that's doing all the overthinking. What we want to be firing is the areas of the brain involved in coordination and balance and stability, reaction time. Those are the parts of the brain that need to be firing, and they actually need to be warmed up. This is not just a physical thing, it's a neurological thing. So
well, that shut off doesn't happen until you reach a flow state. I don't know. A lot of people don't know this if this isn't why you kind of like use the gym. But you have to warm up to get to that place where you quiet everything down. Essentially, like we do, like we want, a lot of us look for the gym to get our brains to like shut off. That doesn't mean they're shutting off physically. That means they're going internal. We want to quiet the noise of the day, of the problems, of the anxiety. That's what we want to quiet. That doesn't mean like your brain is just like totally shutting off. You're going to sleep. It doesn't even go to sleep. It doesn't shut off there either. But we want to get more into that quiet flow state. And how we do that is by connecting it with the rest of our body. So instead of going outward, we go inward. And that's where you start to reach that like flow state where everything starts to quiet down. You're focusing on your breath, you're focusing on your movements, but you have to warm up to get to that place.
Some people call it the zone. I've heard it called a lot of things. Everybody who's ever fitnessed knows what it is, whether you're resistance training, whether you're a runner and an endurance athlete, it doesn't really matter. But we all want to get to that state because we know that that's where our bodies are working at maximum potential. And if you're starting your first couple sets and feeling sluggish and disconnected, and it's taking you until like your third set or your second mile or whatever it is in your training, if it's taking you a significant part of your workout in order to get to that flow state where you're feeling really connected with your body, it's because your warm up is trash.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I made an acronym because I feel like people do well with acronyms, and
sure.
it will help you to remember the 4 parts of a method for warming up that I think is really, really beneficial for everyone. Why are you laughing? Is it my acronym?
No, you know what? I have no control over my brain. And the acronym, so like it was like never eat soggy Wheaties. Like that's
that's what acronym means to you.
Like I was like, that's how I know if I'm going north or south.
Oh, man. Your brain is a fun
you guys don't want to be in here.
I think it sounds like a party. So I termed it the ramp method, and we're going to go through it because I think it's going to help everybody who has self-identified as like, yeah, my first couple sets suck. Yeah, I'm ridiculously sore after workouts. Yeah, I feel like it takes me way too long to get into the flow zone. Ramp stands for, the R is what we're the first step. That's when we raise. So that's when you're going to do your dynamic movement that's actually going to raise the internal temperature of your muscles. This is where we do want to get warm. So we're going to increase your blood flow, increase your heart rate, jump rope, a walk with an incline, a bike, you can a row, you can basically do anything
Dynamic.
here. Anything dynamic that's going to raise your heart rate. Now, I do want to preface this with that all of the research that we're going to present on this is there is a sweet spot. Okay. Raising your heart rate does not mean that you are so out of breath that you can't even be in a conversational state. There is a too much.
You don't need to win the warm up.
Whoa. Stop trying to win the warm up, Rachel. Like it's like, I know. I have to say this to myself all the time. Stop trying to win the warm up.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you know why? Because whenever we start the warm up with a run, and there are naturally fast people that run naturally fast, and I need to win the warm up, and I'm running so much faster than what is actually comfortable for my body, it's like, okay, no, we're not doing the thing that we need to do. Okay.
Yeah, this is raise to your perceived like level of exertion. This is raising your particular heart rate. So that's why we're not saying like you need to be running at a 5 speed for 5 minutes. No, these are like 2 to 3 minutes. You are raising your heart rate, however that looks for you personally, wherever you are in your fitness journey. And like making sure that like that's working for you. You don't need to be in a full out sprint, but you also shouldn't be like, I'm doing cold stretches.
Okay. So the R in ramp is for raise. The A is for activate. This is when we're going to turn on our brain. This is the neurological part of the warm up where you are asking stabilizers and supporting muscles to get to work. It's time to tell them, and this is why it needs to be different if you're on an upper body day, if you're running a 5K, if you're doing legs. This is why your warm up needs to be different every single day, because based on your workout, because each area of the neurological part of the warm up needs to be specific and customized to what you're doing that day. So examples of the activate phase would be, and this should only really take you 3 to 5 minutes, glute bridges, banded walks, dead bugs, scat push-ups, any core activation, banded pull-aparts, as Kelsey mentioned before, anything where you are either stabilizing or working in low levels of resistance. That is what's going to build that brain body connection to tell the stabilizing muscles and all of the supporting muscles that, like, hey, wake up, we need to work. I'm going to tell you to turn on, and then you're going to turn on. And that's going to make your first set so much better because it won't be the first time that you're running through those patterns. So, you already know we make the best workout gear, but one of our best products, our highest rated product on our website, is actually our collagen. If you have not heard about Glow Up by CVG, you are missing out. There is almost 700 five-star reviews on this product because it is such an amazing supplement. Actually, looking at it today, there are only 2 1 stars that were meant to be 5 stars. They love the product, they hit the wrong amount of stars. This is one of our most popular products for a reason. It dissolves like no other collagen. It's type 1 and 3. You're gonna have healthier skin, better joint mobility. Everything about this collagen makes it easy to put into your daily routine. So if you haven't tried Glow Up, get on cvg.com and make sure to add it to cart today. It's our best product.
The next one is M for ramp. The next one is M for mobilize. And this is where a lot of you guys have been like wondering, when do I start this? It's your dynamic mobility that your joints are being trained to today. So these are loosening up all of your joints. These are hip openers, ankle mobility, thoracic rotations, bandage shoulder openers. This is a great opportunity to, if you have like a particularly like tight or like kind of like spot where, you know, like my thoracic mobility is really terrible all the time, and I know I need to just like utilize this time to mobilize things that I will be focusing on today. But if you have any of those that you know isn't a weak area for you, I just put them in. I put them into this spot and just say like, if thoracic or your hips or ankle mobility is specifically difficult for you, this is a great spot to implement that into your warm up. And this should be about 3 to 5 minutes.
Definitely. This is where you can throw in your old man
Mm-hmm.
arms above and going side to side. Anything that feels tight, anything that is a little bit tin man. This is where we run through like gliding the mobilization, like where you want to feel like this is where you can do like your hugs or your
And your
arm
body is ready.
circles.
Yeah, your body's ready for it because you've already raised your heart rate a little bit. You've already activated some like supporting muscle groups like glute bridges, banded whatever. Like you're primed for mobilization here. If you start, that's why it's third. Like if you start with mobilization, like you're really not primed for any
No.
like increasing that range of motion or that movement because your body isn't ready for it quite yet. So prime it first, get to mobilize third in your ramp cycle, and then you will see some improvements here with overall mobility if you stick it here in your warm up.
Absolutely. The P in ramp is practice. This is where we are going to rehearse the movements that we're going to be doing either at heavy loads or for long periods of time if you're a runner. This is where we're going to rehearse and show our body the movement patterns that it's going to be responsible for that day, except at decreased loads. So if it is a squat day, this is where we're putting in some air squats or some light goblet squats, or we're warming up with an empty bar. We need to rehearse what we're actually going to be doing. And I know that people often think like, oh, I'll do it in my first set. Like my first set will be light and that's where I'll do my rehearsal. No. I
Well, you
hear
need to
you.
scale it back to wherever you are, though. Like if you're saying like, I hear you, Kels, like we're doing squats today, but my first set, like percentage wise, is unweighted. Totally hear you. That doesn't mean you skip this part. This is all relative to what your ability or perceived exertion is. So if that range of motion is particularly difficult for you, part of your warm up might be squatting to a bench or a box where you're starting to work through really good range of motion where you're starting to hit each specific point, and that's still part of your warm up.
Absolutely. This is where you're going to see your first set be worthwhile instead of another warm-up set, right? And if we're talking about efficiency at the gym, having a shit warm-up and then having your first 3 sets be like building up to actually getting to a working set, that's a waste of time. Where we could have rehearsed that movement, whether it be an upper body movement, whether it be a squat day, you can even do this, because if you have a conditioning day, we're going to go through some running drills where we're going to be ramping up the practicing of the form that you want to be doing for the entirety of that 5K. So we're going to practice here. So we have raise, which is, we're doing the ramp method, guys. Remember, raise, activate, mobilize, practice. That is in that order. If each one of these takes you 3 minutes, we haven't wasted any time here. Like, we're 12 minutes into the session and
that's 12
you're
minutes
fully
in. That's
warm.
Like, that's perfect.
That's perfect. We have not wasted any time. And the last thing that I want to say on, if you're feeling attacked right now on, okay, I know I don't warm up properly. I know that I'm not prioritizing this correctly. But a lot of the reasons that I hear from people, remember Mom used to say this a lot on the warm-ups. I don't want to waste it.
Oh, she don't want to waste it. Yeah. I've said it too. I'm like,
I think we've all said it.
Make myself feel better. I'm like, I'm not gonna do any of those before I jump up because I don't want to waste them. And then the first one's still shit.
But that's the problem. The problem with I don't want to waste it is that
when you're over a decade in, you're like, oh, okay, so I get it now. So that one was still shit every time. Got it.
You cannot save it for the workout, guys. Like, it doesn't work that way. Not having a good warm up or not getting, your heart rate up or not getting a little sweat going and saying like, well, I'm saving my energy, I'm preserving it all for the workout, is backwards land.
What I want you to think instead is like you have a really dusty windowsill and you need to clear off the dust before you like sit on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think about it that way instead of like wasting your reps. Like, those aren't good reps. Like, we're not going to eat that dust. And so we need to just clear it off before we move any further, because that is actually where you'll get some good work done.
Totally. And just to back that up with a little science, and I'll link this in the show notes if you want to do some more reading. The science shows in all of the research that 79% of performance criteria improves when you engage in a proper warm-up. And that's the warm-up that we went through with the raise, and mobilize and activate and practice. Though you're gonna have, it's completely not wasting it. In fact, you're going to have 79% of the performance criteria that would be measured in a workout will improve when you have a proper warm-up. So when it's designed right, it's not going to take away from your strength. It's only going to increase it. It's not going to take away from your nervous system. It's only going to make it fire harder and better. So yeah, don't be completely exhausted from your workout, from your warm-up, right? There is a line where you need to draw it, but there is a sweet spot where you're going to have so many advantages. And the amount of PRs that I've had after a workout is absurdly telling me that
it's crazy.
My warm-up sucked.
It's so crazy because I think a lot of people, if you've been in the game for long enough, you're like, like I hear that, sister. Yeah. And it's just silly, but it's so true. And honestly, like, just don't, skip all the pain. We already went through that. So we're gonna share with you, keep you injury free, and making gains from the beginning, because like reality is when you skip your warm-ups, when you skip your rest days, this is something that made me like I had to learn the hard way and just keep drilling it in. When you skip your warm-up, when you skip your rest days, you leave gains on the table. You're leaving fitness on the table.
And if we're not there to not leave any of the fitness on the table, then what are we doing?
I don't have time for that.
I mean,
I don't have time to leave stuff on the table. I'm just walking by gains. See you later.
That's what I'm saying. Next time you say, you're tempted to say, I don't have time for the warm up.
You don't have time to leave your gains on the table.
No, you don't, girl. No, you don't. So in conclusion, your warm up sucks if it doesn't exist. Your warm up sucks if it's the same every day, not even based on what you're doing in the session. It sucks if it's only stretching your tight muscles. Okay. We know your hamstrings are tight. Okay. All of our hamstrings are tight. All we do all day is sit. But that does
Check
not
out your hip
mean
flexors.
that does not mean we're just going to throw in a couple hamstring stretches and call ourselves warm. Okay. We need to be activating the weaker muscles that are why your hamstrings are tight. And lastly, your warm up sucks if you are mistaking being a little sweaty for being neurologically prepared. We need to be both. So, we absolutely want to hear from you guys. If you can start working with the ramp method, if you are seeing any like gains in your first set, like, wow, this is feeling a little bit better. Are you feeling more dialed in earlier into the session, like getting into the zone earlier? Are you having more energy longer into your run? Are you like feeling less sore afterward? These are the things that you'd be looking for with a proper. Oh man.
Let's start a ramp movement. When you guys listen to this podcast, that day you're going to post your warm up, whatever it is, and we're gonna tag ramp, like say ramp. I'm like, I did my ramp warm up today. Like, let's make it a thing. I feel like we just share it with more people. Let's just make it a thing.
Never eat soggy Wheaties.
Yeah.
It could be like a thing.
It's a thing. Like we just created it. And get more people like involved in the warm up because we want to share this out. We don't want all of our friends to be injured. I don't.
It's true. Then the gym is so lonely and it's so this really
and you all have different ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we can share the one that you did for that day and like how you're feeling about it. I guarantee you like put some concerted effort into this for your workout today and you're going to feel the difference.
Absolutely. We hope you guys are warm and ready and firing on all cylinders because it's so worth it. Let us know how you're feeling after you try this. And we love you guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.